Hi guys, well, have we got a property for you? This is a stunning property and I'm going to quickly show you a load of photos before I show you some ideas of what the property could be like. So let's have a quick look. This is a property. It is priced at €49,500, which in British pounds is just under 43,000 and it is 57,500 US dollars. It is just outside Miranda de Corvo, in a little place down sort of around here, between sort of Vila Nova, Miranda de Corvo. I've been there a couple of times myself, a lovely place, and it's not too far from Lousã, where there is plenty of supermarkets. In fact, the supermarkets here in Miranda de Corvo, there's definitely a Lidl there, and I believe there's a Continente, but there's definitely Continente and International or Intermarché and a Lidl in Lousã, so you're not too far away from there. And you're also not too far away from the great city of Coimbra. Coimbra, as they like to call it, and it is a beautiful place. So we are looking at a little place sort of just around here in the countryside. Lots of stunning views. So let's have a quick look through these photos, shall we? So this is what you are looking at now. So let's quickly look at what people think you're going to... Well, for a start, you've got all that land. That's a huge amount of land. Now, it's on the N17, I believe, which is a national road. But the great thing about Portugal is that the roads are not ridiculously busy, apart from when you get closer and closer to the major cities like Porto and Lisbon. But they are compared to the UK, they are relatively quiet. So this is, like I say, it's a bit of a main road. But this is what people are seeing it could be like, what they're thinking it could be like. This is the back of the property. And this is a side view of what the property could look like, and this is an aerial idea or suggestion of what it could be like. You could have a pool in there with a bit of grass and a nice little sort of pool area. But looking at the actual image of the area, you get more land than that. But let's have a quick look at. So, I mean, maybe that's, yeah, they've probably got the pool in there and the little thing at the end there. So that will be what they're suggesting is all that land. So let's have a look at the property itself. I think it's a beautiful classic property. Probably going to need some work on the roof. I probably even need re-roofing, I don't know. But the inside, let's have a look, is another version, more of a lower shoot at it. But so these are the doors that could be turned into French doors. Some of these doors are probably a bit old battered and probably need changing. But let's have a look at this. I think it's a beautiful property. When you get inside, I mean, for a start, you're going to see the views as well. There's some beautiful views from the property itself. Look at this traditional old sort of veranda. What do you call it? Like a Romeo and Juliet balcony there. Nice. Give it a nice coat of paint on it. Re-render the outside, a bright white coat of paint, make the building stand out. It'll look beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So again, this is part of the land, I do believe. So there's a little slip road down the side, which I'm assuming goes to some of the other farms as well. There's other farm buildings. But look at the views that you can see in the distance. Now this is what you want to look into. Look, I mean, traditional old doors, traditional flooring. I don't know how good the flooring is, but traditional sort of brickwork. So you can see the old traditional timbers here. Now, it looks fantastic, but obviously that needs to be, I would suggest, insulated and boarded out. Or it's, it looks great, but you have to understand that Portugal can be incredibly cold in winter because they have very little heating and they have very little insulation. And in this area, which I lived in, I was not far from Miranda de Corvo. I can tell you now, this will be a cold house. Nice thick walls, great for summer, really. I mean, it still can get very hot inside the homes, but it's great for summer. But there's no cavity insulation in there, and there's definitely no insulation up there. But look at this for a traditional old sort of kitchen. We've got the old cooker in there. That will be a great feature, in my opinion. So, I mean, look at the size of that thing. And then that's like a built-in sort of shelf unit there. Small window. So, I mean, that is glorious. But as you can see, there is light showing in through the roof. So you'll probably get sort of birds and stuff flying in there, and obviously air going in there. So it would need making it airtight. And I mean, obviously these things, it's always a bit of a joke in the building trade. It has to be airtight, but it also has to be breathable. So you're going to really need to make that insulated, make it secure from the elements. You don't want birds and any sort of insects or animals climbing into your roof work, but you don't want it open to the elements. But it needs to breathe. It needs to breathe so you don't get damp and sort of wet rot and dry rot. But you do need to have that insulated and made warm. And I also recommend, I know it's beautiful wall and it looks great, but like I say, Portuguese houses can get cold, so it might be worth battening these out and having plasterboard on the inside, so you can have insulation behind to keep the rooms warm. Unless, of course, you do it on the outside. Some people do. I don't know if they'll do that in Portugal or if it's something you'd want to do, but you can insulate the outside of a house. Doesn't always look great, but it is another option. So we go through the house. Definitely looks like it's going to need rewiring. It's an old house and probably has been lived in by someone who's been there for generations. It's probably not had any modernisation to it at all, and you can see it hasn't. I can't tell looking at this if that is. I think that door's at an angle. Can't tell from that angle there if it's just. But yeah, it looks like they've got the old traditional frames in there, the old traditional doors. I don't know how great these will be. Here's this. I think that could be a heater, a wall heater for this room. Like I say, they'll get very, very cold. But traditional roofs, the old sort of roofs, and they might want could be some water damage in there. But to be fair, it just looks like I've seen worse. I've seen a heck of a lot worse. But this roof here, now this looks beautiful. But obviously there is a roofing area here. So that also means then that you can insulate this and close this off to the house below, which means then that you can make the house warmer. And this will probably be an interesting sort of space for storage. Don't think there's any head height there for being able to make it livable. But beautiful timbers. It would be a shame to hide them, but you probably will need to. But it is beautiful. But as you can see the light coming through it. So I'm not going to say it's not watertight, but it certainly is open to the elements, which is probably why a lot of these timbers have lasted long, because it's got airflow, which is great. But so yeah, we've got a bit of a flat roof here. Don't know whereabouts this is in relation, but technically you could probably knock a doorway through here and have this as a bit of a potential. I won't say you will for definite, but it could be a potential rooftop terrace. So you've got all these views to look at. This, I believe, is your garden. So up to that point there, so you could wall that off, fence it off, and then that would be your garden. You could put a pool in there like it showed, and your little sort of summer house pool shower room at the bottom there. But yeah, that's your garden. Nice bit of land, really. You could fence that off, and you've got yourself a nice garden for growing vegetables, if that's your thing. So again, this is there's a door here actually, so you might actually be able to, they could have steps down into the garden. You could have that sort of built round so that you come onto this little terrace here. But look at those views there, the great views. Great thing about around Miranda de Corvo and Lousã, they have lots of wind turbines, lots of wind fans on the mountains. Now, some people don't like them, but as a person in the UK who used to live near a couple of power stations, I can tell you I prefer to see those than I do power stations kicking out smoke and steam. And as all things, it's green technology, and it will get smaller and better as it goes on along, but I think I'd rather see that myself. And they're quite mesmerising to watch, quite hypnotic to watch. Some people may not like that, but that's, we're all different, aren't we? So again, this could probably do with maybe a bit of rendering, but to be fair, or sealing. Might just want sealing and then painting. Don't seem to see, I don't see a lot of work required there particularly, but so here's another view of that old style cook. I mean, this, it doesn't look like a big kitchen, but that would just be such a great feature, even just for keeping it in. But some people may take it out and just make that room bigger, which is fair enough. Nice double. And look at the view out of that window there. I don't know if this is looking over the road or if it's from behind the house, but that is just a stunning view. Imagine cooking and washing pots looking out of that window there at that view there. Again, look at these beautiful old stairs, beautiful old doorways. The ceiling doesn't look too bad. That may just require some sort of sanding down, painting and or staining. The walls look fairly good condition. The floor doesn't look too bad, to be fair. So I think this is a cracking building, to be fair. I really do like this. Another smaller room. I don't know if these chests come with it, but they'll make some interesting furniture and features for the house. But again, the roof, the ceiling looks quite good, and we have the walls don't look to be too bad. Definitely going to need a rewire, and like most rewires, if it's an empty house and you can get the wires into the wall and sort of plastered over, hide them, that'd be great, because you certainly don't want conduit running down the building. So this would be a great opportunity. It's a blank canvas for you to start dropping your cables into the wall and making it into something. And look at these are down below. I don't know the head height of these. Like I said before in a previous video, Portuguese people, a lot of the older generation, are quite small compared to us Northern Europeans, so there might not be a lot of head height here. I can't say how big this is, but this itself could be another room. And again, if not, you could probably lower the floor potentially, but it's certainly an interesting little room there. And here's another one. That was probably a fire in that corner. I'm not really sure. Don't know what the green is. That might be some sort of damp or some plant residue that might be worth sort of looking into. Concrete ceiling there by the looks of it. So I think this is obviously basement or underground. Or actually, this could be, looking at it, this would probably be where I said about having a terrace, rooftop terrace. So this is probably that building there. And yeah, that's probably a plant has grown over that back end wall, somewhere like that. And again, here's another one. So there's some stairs up there. That must be the ones leading up to the roof. But look at this. It's all very higgledy-piggledy. There's not many straight lines in this room, but it is a very characteristic, interesting little room. Make a great little office for somebody. Perfect for anybody who works online, who works from home. And, you know, if you work for a company over in England or in Australia or America, or even Spain, you could work from anywhere. But if you're a remote worker or a digital nomad, this would be a perfect sort of office, perfect home, because you can work from anywhere these days. Again, there's another. Looks like a big kitchen cooking area, and there's some stairs there. So this is an interesting, seriously interesting building. Look at the length of this room. It's like a bit of a meeting place. Not incredibly square, but again, roof doesn't look too bad. Sorry, the ceiling. I don't know why I keep saying roof. Ceiling. Another wall heater there. Goes to show you how cold these places can be. If you can get central heating in there, then do so. It is definitely a must. So, I mean, look at that. That's the doorway that was leading out of the property. I don't know if there's any stairs down there. We'll have a look in a minute. But if you could get that to step onto that terrace there, you got yourself a roof terrace, and look at those views there of the mountains in and around Vila Nova and Miranda, Corvo, all that kind of area. And again, plenty of fantastic woodwork here. Walls look quite good. I ain't seen many major cracks or anything like that. Is that the door? I think that was probably the door we just looked at looking out. Is it on? I don't know. But there's another doorway there. That could be onto the Juliet balcony. But look at these doors. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of potential with this property. So that's that funky bedroom, and that's the door again there. It's just, is this the photograph that's looking at an angle, or is that, I can't really tell on that. Looking at the perspective of the actual image. Sort of a little walkway down there. This is that room where we had those funky cases, or whatever you call them, boxes in there. It's just so much opportunity. There's so much you can do with this property. I think it's fantastic. So there we go. So that is the rooftop terrace. I said there's obviously something there, so I think something's probably grown up over on that, and that was what was probably the stain on the wall. There's a doorway there, so if you can get your stairs down to there into the garden and have that as a rooftop terrace, that would be fantastic. I don't know what that bit is there, but you could probably, looks like a roof, so you could probably flatten that and then have that as a longer terrace. But then you've got all this garden. You know, build that wall, fence it out, as the images show you. Let's go back to those images quickly. At the beginning, here we go. So yeah, you can build your wall out, and they've got it re-roofed, so it probably might need re-roofing, depends on how much money you've got. But then you've got your fence wall off, nice set of gates there with a swimming pool if that's what you want. And there's obviously a little window at the top there. Juliet balcony we saw at the front and at the back. So I think it's a fantastic property. Yeah, lot of opportunity, a lot of scope there with this. So like I said, this is in a place sort of down here somewhere. It's not far from Vila Nova. And so this is Miranda de Corvo. Now Miranda Corvo is quite a cool place. I'll share some videos, but let's get in a bit closer. Let me see if I can show you where the water place is. So you've got a Lidl there, you've got an Auchan supermarket, and there is a big there we go, the big indoor Mercado. So let's go to that place here. Now for anybody who is interested, there's some cafes and sort of shops in and around there. It's like a big indoor market area and possibly used for events. But this here, every now and again, they have a bit like the equivalent to a UK car boot. They have a sale here where people gather to sell their second-hand or new stuff, or people sell breads and cakes, and it's a bit of a marketplace. And if we just shoot straight over to the other side, you'll see that there's more sort of shops and cafes around this area. So it's kind of like an extended sort of town centre, because there's another part as well. Grab and go food and drinks. Now I never use those, but they are 24-hour vending machines for food. So you can get burgers in there, I believe, and drinks. That's particularly a good thing to do. Now chicken and stuff like that is quite big in Portugal, and I think this was a chicken place here, cooked chicken. So that's a nice little place on the corner. I'm going over here. We have more. I think there's another bar over here somewhere. You can see the cigarettes. So there's a little cafe there. Now if we go, let's go this way. If we go down here quickly, just go around. There's a little shops are dotted about if you have a bit of a walk and a drive around. If we go down here, we'll come into sort of more shopped areas. This is where I was heading. So this is, I don't know if that's like the central office or the council buildings or the authority, but around here there is some more shops and apartments. There's a big bank there, there's Santander there, and there was a Mundial Max, that's what it's called there, which is like a big shop full of lots of cheap stuff imported from China. You get anything and everything there, Then we have more eateries there, but this is sort of a beautiful part of Miranda. The little waterway through here, which is often very busy when they've had a wet season, but it can actually be very empty when it's not. But if we go down through this sort of section here, there's a few cafes and bars as well, definitely worth visiting. And this is a cute little place. We've got some photos of myself drinking sort of in these places. This little cafe bar here. Nice people, we've been there a few times, and there's another one up here somewhere which we went to a couple of times here. But if we look round, you'll see it's like a little square, nice little area with the sort of the council buildings and offices there. It's a wonderful little place, Miranda de Corvo,
Miranda,
and again, like I said, it's not far from Lousã. If we go back to the map, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just going to bring the map up bigger. I mean, the drive to Lousã from Miranda de Corvo, the roads around there are pretty spectacular. So there's Lousã. So we go, just drop ourselves in there, shall we? You see some fantastic views and some of these fantastic buildings. I mean, here's another one that's up for sale. Obviously, at the time this photo was taken in March 2025, but look at these stunning buildings, absolutely fantastic. And then you drive down some of these roads, and you just got beautiful green views, mountainous views as well. And then if we get into, let's go to Lousã itself, just quickly drop us into Lousã, and then we look round, you'll see that the Lousã mountains are behind us. And if I go down here, well actually, let's just quickly turn around here. This is a nice old area of Lousã. So lovely old buildings here. And if we go quickly up here, turn around, there's a nice big sort of tree-lined avenue where there's a huge sort of church. There was, doesn't want to play a game. Let's try and move us again, see if we can get us back to where we were. Whereabouts am I now? Oh yes. Oh, I love this building at this end. This is a fantastic old building there. We're heading back down this straight. So this is the old part of Lousã. There used to be a fantastic burger place there. That's now closed. I think that's it there. Yeah, the Burgeressa. Unfortunately, it's no longer with us. It closed down, which is a shame. But then you've got this old sort of church area, lots of sort of old buildings down here, which is fantastic. But if we go further into Lousã, let's go down. Right, yep, that's a bit too far. Again, that's too far. Here we go, just quickly. I won't keep us too long, but this is Lousã, the cinema, the new cinema. It wasn't ready when we were there last time. But if I go into Lousã itself, here we go. It's another section of Lousã. A fantastic little pizza place not far from here. If I can get myself out of it. Is this the right way we're going? Here we go. Now, yes, here we are. So this is the square of Lousã, and so that was the market there. There's all the shops over there. There's more shops in other places as well. Lousã's a great place. And this is Lousã Square. And again, if I can get myself over there, you'll find bars, restaurants in there, and a fantastic bar over in this far corner, or cafe bar, that called Meeples, that I've been to a few times. I really, really liked it. So that is Miranda, Corvo, and that is Lousã. They are fantastic places. Just drop ourselves quickly back into Miranda, just have another quick spin round, have a look. It's a great little place, Miranda, Corvo. Really, there's lots of beautiful sort of properties in there. It's not the sunniest day when this was taken. When was this? March 2025. But again, it is a fantastic little town. And so really that property we just looked at is down here, somewhere around here on this bend, I do believe, on the N17. We're around here. That's not the one. Is it this one here? Well, I've landed straight outside it. So this is the property here. So if we do a bit of a quick look around, you'll see you've got nice mountains and tree-lined mountains basically surrounding you. And then there's more fantastic quality. Oh, look at that one. That's a fantastic building. That really, really is cool. And so there we go. That is the property. So yes, you are on a main road, but you do have quite a bit of land. So you've got your parking potentially there. You could have the gates there. You could have your gates at this end as well. You've got a little road behind you. But that's the property. I think that's fantastic. Right. If you want to get some free listings, have a look at what the newsletter looks like, pop over to cheapportugalproperty.com and sign up for the newsletter. And I shall see you again in another video soon.